You're watching Cartel TV and I'm Simone. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button. Now, the N-Trek Warrior. It's got a tough job. On one hand, it's supposed to be
a significant step up from the standard N-Trek.
but on the other hand, that puts it against
The Toyota Hilux Rugged X and the Ford Ranger Raptor.
two of the most hardcore offerings.
In fact, with the Colorado Sports Cat added to the mix,
These four would complete the list of top ute offerings in Australia. Now that's some tough competition. With all due respect to Nissan, Toyota and Ford have a head start thanks to their prior ute butte reputations. So, can the N-Trek Warrior really compete?
it has one big plus: it's cheaper than the Raptor.
But does that necessarily mean that it's lagging behind the other two? There's a lot of space right under the very top of that list. And here in Australia, there's a whole heap of us willing to spend over $60,000 on a ute.
In terms of design, the Warrior is just like the other two. It stands out at first sight. Its unique features include an LED light bar, this bull bar, and a lift of 40mm. This growth comes from both a suspension lift and these awesome 32.2-inch tyres on yet another Warrior-only feature, these 17-inch alloys.
While some of you will complain that the regular N-Trek has 18-inch wheels, you should know that the Warrior wheels are made to do the job and aren't just for show.
This rims and tyres combo both looks awesome and makes the Warrior noticeably better off-road.
And I mean noticeably.
Unique features continue under the body with front underbody protection made of stainless steel.
But the real star of the underside is at the back. And that's this tow bar, which is made specifically for the Warrior.
No, they didn't make it so that they could use it as a marketing tool. It actually accommodates a full-size spare wheel. Remember those 32.2-inch tyres? Yeah, one of those fits here. Now, after all this unique practicality, the Warrior also has some just-for-show peculiarities. These include things like dark orange details, N-Trek Warrior side decal, and some interior design upgrades. Nothing major, but enough to stand out.
Now, remember the 2-litre engine in the Raptor?
Yeah, it got a lot of hate despite actually being an awesome engine for a 2-litre diesel.
Well, Nissan took even the bad notes from Ford and decided to shun the option of the V6 it shares with Mercedes.
And just go for the standard 2.3-litre twin turbo. With 140 kilowatts of power and 450 newton meters of torque, it's no powerhouse by any means, but it is sufficient.
While this is the only engine option for now, there are two transmissions to choose from, a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed automatic.
This is why the Warrior exists. Many manufacturers nowadays have models that are specifically tuned for our market, but this is developed here for us. Once again, following the idea of the Raptor, the Warrior suspension deserves a review of its own.
It's aimed at marrying two seemingly impossible things, off-road capability and on-road comfort. Now, before we get to the amazing suspension, let's see if I can find some positive words about the engine.
Look, it's not heaps of fun. In terms of practicality, it's great and relatively easy on fuel. But the best thing about it is that it is rarely, if ever, overwhelmed.
Whenever you press the pedal, it gives a steady, confident push.
It's not massive. You don't have to go really easy on the pedal in fear of the mad bull throwing you off its back. It won't, but it will take anything you throw at it and give you the confidence and control you need in off-road conditions.
It's not fun or fast or scary, but it is sufficient. We don't really need more. It's just that we want more, just like with the Raptor.
Now the suspension. The lift results in 268mm of ground clearance, and that massive tyre sidewall makes the car a lot better off-road and on-road. Softer springs are used all around, while dampers are stiffer. The rear has progressive spring rate that enables a cushioned ride, or at least a ride not as bouncy as utes under this level can get when not loaded, and it provides great support when loaded.
The steering wheel is also a lot easier to control in rough conditions than before, mostly due to those tyres.
So, compared to the regular Navara, the Warrior is years ahead, mostly thanks to suspension and tyres. It's much more comfortable, has less body roll, and it's immeasurably better off-road. Progressive spring rate for the rear is a blessing. It's a lot better to drive in any conditions than the regular, less expensive Navara.
Compared to the more expensive Raptor, well, it's not at that level yet, but the difference isn't huge. Basically, if we were to perform specific tests, then the Ranger would only be marginally better.
Maybe Amelia said it best when she introduced the Warrior a while back. The Raptor will be better at literally driving at 100 km per hour off-road.
How often do you do that?
The The orange details are carried over from the exterior and they look very nice. There are also several Warrior logos sprinkled around the interior, and the infotainment comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but that's the case on all the latest Navaras.
Other than these, the inside of the Warrior ain't that special.
All the good features of the lesser Navara models are still present here, so you get a nice layout, easy controls, lots of space, nice seats and heaps of storage spaces.
The bad features are still here as well.
There's no armrest in the back and no cup holders.
In short, the interior only gets a few stylistic upgrades, and even if looks were hugely important in a ute, then these upgrades would hardly be enough to justify the price increase.
Luckily, the exterior and suspension make such a big difference.
Of all the utes sold last year, more than 20% were the ones which cost over $60,000. This is a niche that grows rapidly, and any new option is sure to get some traction. So that's a plus.
Okay, compared to the Raptor, it falls behind in terms of model history and somewhat in terms of drive, but only when compared at the very top level.
99% of people who use utes how they're meant to be used will have literally zero issues with the off-road prowess of the Warrior, and they will welcome the newly found on-road comfort.
If you're up for a 100km/h off-road run, well, that's a different story.
Does that really justify the higher price of the Raptor? I'm not so sure. Okay, the Raptor is better in that respect, but that's like saying that one supercar is better than the other because it accelerates to 100.1 of a second faster. Does it really matter that much?
Lastly, there's the Warrior's place in the Navara lineup. It sits at the very top and with a significant margin.
Sure, the engine is the same as the one in the regular N-Trek, and the interior is, well, more orange, but the practical exterior perks and the drive make a world of difference.
It's much better off-road and much more comfortable on-road.
The Warrior offers a less expensive entry point into the top-level ute market, and that makes it very relevant. And in its own right, it's an amazing machine. Now, give us that B6. Thanks for watching Cartel TV. Now, what do you think of the Warrior? Do you think it's worth saving 20 grand on a car that's almost as good as the creme de la creme? Let us know in the comments below. See you soon.